The Internet supports more than just the World Wide Web. You can use the Internet backbone to send email, transfer files, and do other tasks. Each of these activities operates on a different protocol or language. In this lesson, we're going to explore some of the common protocols that are used on the Internet. Perhaps the most common protocol used online is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP. This is the language that your web browser uses to send URL requests to a web server and to receive the HTML response. HTTP is actually a simple text-based language, so it can be read by humans as well as computers. When a web browser is given a URL like this one, a few things will happen. First, the HTTP part on the front is read to know that the user indeed wants to use HTTP. Then the server domain is read next. This domain is used to connect to the right web server. Finally, a GET request is sent to that web server with any remaining parts of the address, or page.html in this example. The GET request starts with the keyword GET, then contains the remaining resource string from the URL. It ends with HTTP 1.1 to show the specific version of the HTTP language that it's using. When a web server receives a request, it will fetch the requested HTML page and send back an HTTP response. The HTTP response starts with the protocol version again, HTTP 1.1. It's followed by a status code, which means that the request was processed without any errors. Next, some more descriptive information is added. The content type tells the web browser what kind of file is being returned. Text HTML is very common, but web servers can also send back images, audio, video, and many other kinds of content. Next, the content length line is sent back with a number that tells the web browser exactly how many bytes should be in the returned file. Finally, the web server will send back a blank line to separate the descriptive information from the file itself. After the blank line, the web server finally sends the actual file, like an HTML file or an image. Now, there are more complicated parts of the HTTP language, but the simple GET command is an easy way to see how HTTP works. The next major Internet protocol that we'll discuss is the File Transfer Protocol, or FTP. FTP is used to move files from one computer to another across the Internet. FTP is also a text-based protocol, and you can read what's going on between the servers if you'd like to. Just like HTTP is managed by a web browser on your computer, FTP is handled by another piece of software called an FTP client. FTP clients give you a nice graphical view of your file system, much like Windows Explorer or Mac Finder. And you can use your mouse to drag or copy files between computers. The FTP client will automatically translate your actions into the FTP protocol to make the file transfer. Finally, let's think about how email is sent and received across the Internet. You're using an email client on your computer to receive mail from a mail server. The email client will use the Post Office Protocol, or POP, to pull the mail from the server. POP is a one-way channel. You can only pull email from the server, but you can't send it back out. In order for you to send email from your client to a server, or to transfer mail between servers, we use the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, or SMTP, instead. SMTP is only used for sending mail, not receiving it. SMTP and POP work together to let email clients and servers send and receive email across the Internet. SMTP and POP are both text-based protocols like HTTP and FTP, but your email clients will usually hide the actual commands from you. In summary, as an Internet user, you work with client software like web browsers, file transfer clients, and email clients. Those user-friendly programs will translate your actions into the HTTP, FTP, POP, or SMTP protocols that are actually used to get things done online.